Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. We got a good one for you today. Star Blazer is better known as Space Battleship Yamato. We have the Cosmic link in the pinned comment, so let's get this started. I will make sure this is the dubbed version. Not bad looking spaceship. Flash ships.
Hey, Jerm.
Well,
How's it going?
not too bad.
Ugh.
Have you seen this show before?
No, but I'm also wasn't always a big anime fan.
Uh, yeah, it's like 74, I believe, or 78. Hey,
Yeah.
Hey
Teague.
guys, it's me, Henderson. I mean Teague.
Hey, now, Jerm, did you verify him?
No one else could be this much of an asshole. Of course, it's me.
Oh no, I had it. Jerm's had a couple issues in the past. I had an issue last night because I didn't listen
Did
to
you?
Jerm.
Oh, yeah, it's a shame. I just, on behalf of everyone on YouTube, I apologize to everyone who listens to YouTube for the fact that some people who used to be on YouTube use the pass and StreamYards as a weapon. It's on them, not us. We
Oh no,
wish that we could do more.
this was just some troll that has a foot fetish and freaking voyeur fetish.
Well, I mean, I'm a troll and I have a foot fetish, but that's no excuse for interrupting someone's broadcast.
Especially something as wholesome as the Walters, even though we get fucking too carried away on it.
Well, how long have you ideated on Mary Ellen's boobs? Like Mary Ellen's
On her
rack's
dude.
pretty good. Mary Ellen's rack's pretty good, man. Dig Mary Ellen.
No, more like the fact that we called Mary or who was it that called the dominatrix? Was that Aaron?
Uh, yeah, I believe it was Aaron.
My favorite part my favorite part about the Waltons as a kid was that I noticed that everybody worked really hard except John Boy, and he got out of doing any and all work by just sitting on the porch talking to Grandpa. So I was like, I better hang out with my grandparents more. I don't want to be involved when it's time to do spring cleaning. And just like that, it worked because if you watch the Waltons, James Robert and Pa do all the work. John Boy just sits on the porch and talks to Grandpa. He's the smartest person on the show.
That's why he's the college boy.
And gets out of going to World War II.
No, he
Oh,
went.
John Boy is 26. No, James Robert goes. But did he go and do like a stateside job and James Robert got
No,
combat?
no, no. John Boy, what was writing for the Patriot or the Stars and Stripes as a propagandist for the government.
Right. Well, in World War II, we unapologetically did propaganda, but but we kind of needed to win. A lot of studies done on that. I think that's the most damaging thing that happened in history. Not that we won the war and not that we did propaganda, but that we didn't really teach people about how to understand what was propaganda and what wasn't after the war. When we're like, these are like, these are like, one-way signals telling you how to feel. Like, you should think twice about it. Like, we never really did that. And now, like, we see, like, the only thing that sticks in someone's head when they go to, like, animating school or broadcasting school or acting school is they won. Hey, LDG, they won World War II.
Hey,
They tell these people, these writers, Hollywood won World War II for America, which is like an oversimplification of something that's only nominally true. It's like, we were going to win that war. It probably would have taken 2 or 3 years longer if we hadn't have all been very, very united. And we used propaganda to do that. And certain things we didn't really need to do, like some of these scrap drives at the end of the war, were just so people would feel invested in winning. Look what happened in Vietnam, where we didn't try to make it look like the war was justified. We just did it.
Yeah, that was more political than anything. They didn't try any propaganda.
They tried the same propaganda from World War II, but it was dated and it didn't work. And the enemy propaganda was stronger because the enemy propaganda, sadly, was just simply videos of us being terrible. We did firebomb a few villages. This looks just like Star Blazers, but better.
This is Star Blazers.
Is this like a third series?
This is a re-release.
It looks fucking great. The detailing is much higher. I remember this one. Are they fighting the Comet Empire?
I don't know. I haven't seen Star Blazers since.
No, it's not. The Admiral's still alive.
Probably
It could only be. Yeah, this has got to be the Gamelons because the Admiral dies in the mission against the Gamelons. Sorry for the spoiler. It'll be a long time though. We're off to outer space. We're leaving Mother Earth to save the human race.
Unfortunately, won't get the intro off of this one. This copy I was able to get is the Space Battleship Yamato, the original cut. But with the updated, I believe it's the Blu-ray release. They have it on here.
If you Google Star B, it fills in Star Blazers theme song lyrics.
No, but I found these results on search.
Also, apparently, the lyrics for the theme song from Charmed, which I believe is the Smiths.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Oh, here we go. Searching for a distant star, heading off to Istandar, leaving all we love behind. Who knows what dangers we'll find? We must be strong and brave. Our home we have to save. There we go.
Hey, Brandon, welcome.
Yeah, this is re-rendered and re-rendered well. I don't know if they drew over what they had.
They probably completely redid it.
They are singing the song. Wow, this scene's emotional, man. It's weird how resigned to their fate everybody is when they still have a really good shot.
Well, he is on a suicide run.
You mean a kamikaze mission?
Yep. They are
Yeah,
Japanese after all.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah, that's bleeding through the whole thing is like how their outlook on war. Although it's shown as pointless, right? Because the run doesn't succeed. Or was the idea just to draw fire? If that was
It's just to draw fire and let the fleet escape.
Then they succeeded. Okay, wow. So we're only at the point where Derek Wildstar finds them now. Does he know about the Yamato experiment yet?
I don't think so.
No one's unveiled the Yamato. Okay, I didn't think so. It wasn't part of that battle.
This should be the absolute beginning of the franchise. If they have it listed right.
It seems to be, because what happens is they get their asses kicked by the Gamelons, which we just saw. They don't have enough resources to launch the mission to try to stop the Comet Empire, try to stop the Gamelons who are bombing the Earth with radiation. And they're pretty good at what they do, so they had to rebuild the Yamato underneath the ground. Like, it was buried underground after the sea receded, so that no one could see what they were doing. So that's why they chose that ship to redesign. And it's their last shot. All their other assets are either tied up, half destroyed, getting repaired, or, lost. What's the admiral's name again?
I don't remember offhand.
It's not too far from Akbar. This is new music and stuff. This is very well done. So this is why we need the I guess what we'd call the Yamato project.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gamelons are real scumbags.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay.
As someone who also reviews Star Trek Discovery, I just want to say how different and pleasant it is that this story mostly makes sense and hasn't offended my feelings about right and wrong yet.
And that's the problem. How, lady?
Yeah, the only thing they don't really have to worry about is spies on this one, right? Because they want to blow up the entire planet and kill every single human being. There's no one's going to really work with them. What do you think, Gorilla? Watching Star Blazers in this form rates slightly above Attack of the Clones, or maybe at about the same level?
I haven't seen Attack of the. Are you talking about the episode 2 Attack of the Clones?
Episode 2, yes. George Lucas's Attack of the Clones.
I don't know. I enjoyed Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying this. I'd say like they're both at about the same level. Pretty good sci-fi.
Yeah.
I mean, this might level up to Revenge of the Sith. Now, I know the one thing about this Doctor character is that if it's translated accurately, he's actually drunk and stoned all the time. But because it was too racy for American children, they played him off as being very cheerful. But he's supposed to be drunk and stoned. Everyone has a question mark above their head. Why? In this world, once you hit like 50, your hair calms down. All their badging is in English. Except the doctors. Yep, there he goes, the huge bottle of sake. He's the drunk in this. Your planet's radioactive. You have no food, but this guy has decided sake is the way to go.
Hey, if you're gonna die, might as well die comfortably.
I didn't question his choice. I was just documenting it. But you notice he closed the folder that was written in English. He closed it to our perception backwards, indicating that he was, he was animated by Japanese people. I believe they read from top to bottom, from right to left, so it close a folder the other way.
So that's what's wrong with the Japanese. All right.
Yeah, it's that's why they lost World War II. Some people
they
are
read
trying.
So they got hold of some American dispatches there. They read it wrong, and that's why they lost, huh?
That's right. When we read their code, we knew to read it backwards, and that's how we won. Because everyone knows 4 equals 2 plus 2.
Now, if you talk to the idiots nowadays, they say 2 plus 2 equals 5.
Yeah, well, all I know is 3 to 5 is what they should give every one of those scumbags who is talking hatefully at Columbia University. Your freedom of speech doesn't go that far.
Well, it's a slippery slope. Where does it start and where does it end? It's a slippery slope.
Your freedom of speech ends at the end of your fist. You can't call for direct violent action against people or direct violent action now. You can't make a call to violent direct action. That's beyond freedom of speech. You also can't denounce hatefully and wish the termination upon any one group or individual. So go here and do this to X. That's not freedom of speech.
Yeah.
We saw a Star Trek critic get into a lot of trouble with it. He said, let's be euphemistic. Take your phaser, go out and delete every single person protesting right now. Set it to full and shoot to delete. And then he wouldn't take it back. And then he showed up and made an apology where he's like, of course I meant it euphemistically.
Who was that?
He had a 3-word name. It rhymes with Royal Musical Ballet. It has the same initials as Royal Musical Ballet.
Okay.
You can't guess?
Yeah, I know. I figured it out.
Yeah. Motherfucker decided to sit around home drunk watching the news and panicking, grabbed his phone.
Oh, that's never good.
Well, his apology may have been worse, where he denounced an entire political philosophy that he was associated with for saying what he said.
Howdy, Alabama.
Hey, Hellbilly, what's going on, buddy? You're going to love this cartoon.
Yeah. Hey, Alabama.
This is called Star Blazers, a.k.a. Go ahead, take it away, Resolute.
Space Battleship Yamato.
It aired in America as Star Blazers in the 70s, but this is a redone and yeah, the credits are starting now. So we had a really long cold open, or we're seeing the episodes. This one's cut into episodes. Is that it? Oh,
yeah, it's cut.
That's a bad special effect. Oh, wait, okay. That special effect is not bad. There's a window on the black. That makes sense. So they can cut out the Asian credits and put in American ones. Right. They had to crop the credits. And yeah, I get what's going on here. Now, one of the additional voices here is, of course, Michael Speck, which rhymes with Spock, because I'm required to point out any Star Trek similarities.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremy, I got the poll. I got the poll up.
Okay.
For next Sunday.
Now, is it smokable? I mean, can people vote in this poll?
Yes. And Chicago rules their Teague.
Oh, so in other words, we'll be watching Care Bears.
That's not on the list.
Yeah, he was smart. He
He
left the bad stuff off.
Sharknado, we're gonna watch him on Cringe Stock. The rest of the Sharknados we'll watch on Cringe Stock.
The work of Ian Ziering is it's so much more enduring. There were those who said Luke Perry was the finest actor on 90210. I held out for Joey Tata.
Because it's Tatas?
No, because he owned the Peach Pit and was 55 years old on a show about teenagers. Way to go! How did you pull that one off?
Hey, would you want to own a restaurant on a beach there with all those fucking girls in bikini, all those college girls in bikinis?
I want to own a business that operates 24 hours a day and never leave, like the Peach Pit. What's at a Peach Pit after dark?
Very good design for the carrier.
You're right on that. And I got to say, I think one of the reasons that this show is so enduring is that their ship concepts and their ship designs were so much fucking more imaginative than the contemporary stuff, because these people were well aware they were making an animated cartoon and would never have to make models. And so they just used their imaginations and it was all fully realized.
Yeah. Yeah, the 70s were sort of a lull, and as far as anime goes, is pretty much the start of it.
This is definitely getting to probably the start of it. It's the first thing that qualifies as anime I really saw, aside from Battle of the Planets. But the thing here is, the people making actual tactile films had a lot more constraints than the creators of this, right? And this is a reimagining, which is better. But if we remember the original Star Blazers, their ships, they didn't have to compromise because they couldn't make a model do something. The example being like the original Enterprise, Gene Roddenberry's concept from day one was the saucer would come off and land on the planet, and he had to invent the transporter when they told him that they couldn't make this model do these things. It would look stupid. These people, they don't have that constraint. Everything's going to look as real as everything else. Their bar of reality is the bar of animation, and they're doing it great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find the original of it, but the Blu-ray version, I think this is either 1080 or higher, looks very good.
My gut instinct here is that if you Google Star Blazers, 1970 or something like that, you'll see how this looked originally. This is beat for beat and frame by frame almost exactly the same, but they've really updated it, and a lot of things from our own real world, like how this teleconference is going down compared to the original version. All right, that was a profound moment there. It wasn't freezing, guys. Don't worry. Now, is this Gamelon?
I believe so.
Or it's Iskandar, right? The Gamelons are from Iskandar, or is Iskandar where the message that they had tech that would help came from? We may not have gotten the message yet.
I don't think we've gotten that far yet.
We're going to get a message from space saying we have tech or information that can help, and that and that if you come to this planet, we are on the way to the people who are attacking you. And oh, by the way, they're called the Gamelons. And this is very Star Trek, the motion picture right here. Gene Roddenberry watched this. V'ger is on its way to Earth. This is the V'ger cloud. Tell me Gene Roddenberry didn't copy this for that conference in Star Trek 1.
No, it's very accurate to a conference like that.
Could it be that all these conferences look aesthetically the same?
Pretty much, yeah.
Fair enough. This is the message from Iskandar.
Yeah.
So what? Our hero is Derek Wildstar and Jason Wildstar is missing, correct?
Those were the English names. I'm not sure if they're following the same names.
I think they are, because if you look at their uniforms, the names of what the name of their organization and stuff is in English. And by the way, Yamato is some kind of big time word in like the weirding way of Japanese language.
Usually their capital, their flagship.
For anyone wondering how they still have this World War II ship when the U.S. Navy swept them from the ocean, the Japanese didn't send the Yamato out very far after a while.
Yeah, because it's vulnerable to air raids.
And submarines and everything else. And it was like the greatest idea that was finished 10 years too late to be really useful. The final fate of the Yamato of our world in World War II was run aground to be a fortress, run aground on purpose by the Japanese Navy to be a fortress in an invasion that never came, because a couple of days later, there was an event where we wipe a city off the map. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's called Hiroshima. It's in the prequel to Godzilla -1, a movie called Oppenheimer. So the trilogy is Oppenheimer, Godzilla -1, Star Blazers.
Most of that's watchable. Oppenheimer, kind of iffy.
I had heard that.
Let's say it's a little favorable to the title character. History, a little bit different.
I have met his grandchildren. They live in New York, Long Island, where he had been from, obviously, the Manhattan Project, all that stuff. Or at least people who had the same last name who claimed it, because who knows? I wasn't there when they were born, but I had heard that movie was sketch, and I have not been a fan of Christopher Nolan since Dunkirk and Interstellar, when he just proved to be a self-indulgent, boring jerk sometimes. Neither of those movies pay off.
Yeah, Nolan doesn't really pay off most of the time.
I respect the artistic concept that you're going to make a war movie where no one sees the enemy. But that movie is boring and sucks. Dunkirk sucks. Gunfights where you never see the other people, yeah, fun stuff, guys. It's like Forrest Gump. He runs from place to place like an idiot. It says idiotic things, and then finally that ends.
Run, Forrest, run.
We never see one burning Jeep. We never see anybody else. Like, he runs into a few other people who are also trying to successfully run away. A better Dunkirk movie is Darkest Hour with Gary Oldman. It's 150 times better, and we never see the battle. They only talk about it. It's still 100 times better. At least Darkest Hour gets across that they had no plan and made it up as they went. Dunkirk, it makes it seem like, well, we knew this was going to happen and we had a plan, and that's why we're getting away. It's like, no, your leader was just insane.
Yeah. With Nolan, he has great ideas, but
I agree.
it's something to, when it comes to the execution of those ideas, he can't really handle it.
He becomes very self-indulgent, and he starts to make a movie that only would please Christopher Nolan, because in the end of the day, the only person he cares about approval from is himself. He cared so little about his Batman franchise that he hands it to Zack Snyder and says that Zack Snyder's going to do it great.
I think Snyder has pretty much the opposite problem. If you throw a graphic novel right in front of him, they'll do a perfect adaptation.
No,
he has to make any changes, any type of creative decision, something goes wrong.
Well, that, and if you gave him a graphic novel and he didn't make any creative changes, that 2-hour story would be 4.5 hours long, and you would have to watch every event 3 times. They would think about it, and you'd see them visualizing it in their mind. Then they would do the act, like, let's say, swinging a sword at the enemy. Then they would do it again in slow motion, and then we would move on to the next event. And in a Zack Snyder movie, if it doesn't happen on screen, it didn't happen at all, and everyone off screen is frozen until they come back. Like, nothing changes for characters off screen. If they
that's
pay,
why he needs a good editor. He needs a good editor and a good executive producer to help rein him in sometimes.
He can't be
nudge him the right way.
No, he's unfixable. I'm going to declare that Zack Snyder is unfixable and will always make shit.
He did a very good job on both Sucker Punch and 300. And those
17 and 14 years ago, respectively.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. He's been bad consistently and only bad since then. Always bad, only bad, really bad. Rebel Moon, Scargiver, 4 hours. Anyone wanted a piece of that, right? I mean, the thing about Zack Snyder is every time he makes another project, less people are defending him. So he's self-destructing his reputation, in my opinion. Sorry, guys. I know he does have fans. He can frame a beautiful shot. But then he'll linger on that shot until we all get bored.
Yeah, it's fine. He just found out how and why his brother died.
Yeah.
Are we done with Wildstar's brother though? I mean, I don't think he's dead. I think he's just missing on Iskandar, right?
He might be.
He was the first person to go try to check out the signal.
Music sounds very 70s.
Yeah.
All right, serious question. Google confirmed what my guess was, but you guys tell me what you think. What is the right amount to give a child on their first communion if they're like not that close, not super closely related?
I have no idea what First Communion is.
At 7 years old, Catholic children get to receive communion for the first time, and there's a big ceremony.
Is that sort of like a pencil set type gift idea?
What do you mean?
Or $5 in a card?
$5 in a card.
It was 50 was the recommended for Google for a first communion for a not very close relative.
For a 7-year-old?
The thing is, the family throws a party, right? And the party would be like $25 to $35 per person. So to give a gift of any kind, you have to hit at least what it would cost to have your seat there, right? And then if you want to gift it up a little, so for instance, like a wedding is about $60 to $75 a seat, or it was when I did it, right? And a divorce is $10,000, but that's another story. So since your seat at a wedding is like, say, you go in there knowing it's $65 to $75. So like if you go solo, your wedding gift is expected to be $150 to $200.
We were always under the pressure, give what you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the thought that counts, but there are
There's no
sort of
way I
like
could
notches.
there's no way I could afford to give my sister $150. I only gave her 50.
I gave my sister
go on the
$2
honeymoon.
grand.
What?
I gave my sister $2 grand.
Well, you're just throwing out money. It could use some.
No, I mean, you know what? She had a huge wedding. It's my only sibling. She didn't marry an asshole, which shocked everybody. The guy was actually okay. We liked him too. And I'm like, fuck, one day I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna get this money back. So I just like it was a good time in my life financially. I mean, it was so long ago that $2,000 is worth like $3,000 now. I mean, I think George Bush's father might have been president. It was so long ago.
Senior?
Let me put it this way: Mr. Locker Up was president.
Oh, Trump.
No. The husband of the one that we want, the person that Trump wanted locked up. Yeah, Bubba Bill. So it was at the end as the 20th century. Oh, here's the song. They've taken a completely different approach to the song. It's in Japanese and sounds like church music instead of being really rousing.
Hey, I will say though, Clinton had some balls there to look at a lawyer right in the face and tell them to define the word is.
When you know that you're a lying liar and you're going to lie, you build an escape hatch into every lie before you lie, because you lie all the time and that's all you know about. So I would say he did an amazing job of lying, because he's like, somebody asked me a question about this. I got to be able to tell a non-lie to unlie my lie. So like when it came at him, he's like, I already knew I'd have to lie about that when I spent some time concocting the lie. So, well, that depends on what you think of the word is. Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, wait, he's right. What does is mean? And it was like, holy shit, this guy is like, as far as prevarication goes. And at that time, I think most Americans were like, well, he's a lying scumbag. But when he does business with other countries, we like the cut of his jib with that shit. So he'll be gone in a few years, but until then, he's going to get the better of every other national leader because he's such a good liar. Now, we had already seen the same man cheat on his wife and have his wife endorse the idea that he cheated on her.
Hey, those cigars have to go somewhere.
She ain't the best looking, but Hillary is loyal as fuck.
Well, who's to say
She's
that?
not going to dump her meal ticket for something simple like that.
Or it was no big deal except for the fact he got caught because they were both doing it all the time. Am I the only one who thinks the agreement was do whatever you want, just don't make me look like an asshole? And he made her look like an asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. That was never a loving relationship. That was a, I'm going to use you to make myself rich and powerful. Go ahead and screw whatever you want. Just don't get caught.
Well, they both.
And then he got caught.
Yeah, exactly. But they both start out at this highly successful school. Both of them are going to have a future in politics. That's their aspiration. I think that they liked each other for a while. I don't think it was always an act. Like they didn't meet each other and like, hey, let's lay out like a 60-year bullshit plan where we fuck with everybody's minds. I think it was like after the relationship cooled off, they were both kind of so dispassionate that they were like, you know, I don't really dig fucking you no more. But since people dig us as a couple, and it covers up for the fact that I love to smoke weed and screw everything else that moves, and you're kind of like possibly a lesbian or whatever and a weirdo, we should probably stick together because the weird factor on both of us goes down so much, like so much. And she was like, yeah, we're so fucking weird that when we're together, it unweirds us. I want to be a senator one day. Well, fuck that. I want to be president. And, all right, Foghorn. I mean, Bill, let's just keep this lie going. Right? Don't you feel like they fluked their way into that one? They're like, it's been a fun 5 years, but I don't dig you no more. And she was like, listen, idiot. You're Foghorn Leghorn. No one takes you seriously. If you want to be governor of Arkansas, you have to stick with me. And he's like, shit, you're right. Is this like the talk on wave motion tech now?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the wave motion tech. Okay, guys, so Star Trek has warp drive. These guys have wave motion technology. It's pretty cool. It was a pretty cool pseudoscience thing. It doesn't totally make sense, but on the screen it does. And I guess that's why when they fire their not their main weapon, but when they fire their primary weapons, which are the turreted cannons on the hull, not the wave motion gun, but the ones that seem like more like lasers, they seem to also have wave motion technology. They fire 3 beams, but after they go about a quarter mile, the beams start to interlace and weave around each other, and it's cool as shit. And I think that's got something to do with the wave motion tech too.
It's also a very common style, the way they draw it. They drew the same thing in Gundam.
Is that so? All right. Well, it looks amazing. And I don't know if it's supposed to be the wave motion tech or it's just a stylistic choice. But explaining away how they how they can warp speed around and do Star Trek sort of things with the wave motion tech, to do it in only 2 minutes and so efficiently, it was great. And I guess we're only going for the mournful version of Star Blazers. Is she going to throw a funeral wreath towards the Earth? That's so cool. They don't think their mission's going to succeed, but they have to try it anyway. That is so cool. We're going to do the right thing because the right thing is the only thing we know how to do. And we saw that in Star Trek Insurrection with the bottle of champagne. Gene Roddenberry loved this. The Star Trek people loved this. Was the BBY on their book a shout out to Star Wars?
I think BBY is the copy.
I thought BBY is Star Wars terms for before the Battle of Yavin. So the prequels are like BBY minus 20, BBY minus 30.
Yeah. This came out before Star Wars.
Not the remake we're watching, though, which is like from 2018 or something, 2010.
No, but they copied the dialogue. The dialogue's
I think the script is probably exactly the same.
Yeah.
The thing is that they're showing us stuff here they didn't show us in the one that I saw, because the one that I saw was designed for children, and this guy was just cheery and goofy. He wasn't wasted all the time. He's wasted all the time here, the Doctor.
Yeah.
Everything's been completely withdrawn from frame one. They may have reused some of the original voice actors, but they re-recorded it. And the Star Blazers I saw was only 4 minutes long per installment.
Yeah. This is not Star Blazers.
This is Battleship Yamato.
Yeah, Star Blazers was re-edited and revoiced for English audiences.
Right, and dumbed down for children because this was always made for like either like high school or older level audience. This was not a children's animation thing. And in Japan, they had the idea a lot earlier, but it takes a long time for Americans to realize this. Until Family Guy's controversy, the fact that it was animated at all to Americans implied it was for children. So you couldn't have animated series. That's why heavy metal struggles to find an audience, even though it's a cult hit. It was supposed to be a huge hit. So that's their warp speed jump. That is cool as fuck. Like Terminator, you fucking come out the other side like Frozen. We've made it to the edge of our solar system on one jump. BRB, gents. This is a different solar system. It just looks like ours. Okay.
Looks like they didn't calculate for the gravity shadow.
Ugh.
Shoot your Kenny. No, I'm gonna call you Canny.
Yeah, Daddy, get your shit done. I always laugh when they say it's at 120%. Like, you need to get that high before you can do anything.
Well, I'd say that is effective.
How many more episodes do we gotta go?
One more after this.
Okay.
Hey, Dad.
Hey. Hey.
I just wanted to say hi.
Why worry about Armageddon? You're already past it. Okay, one more episode. Yeah, it's English.
I was gonna say it better be in English. We won the war for. Damn it.
Yeah, sometimes this source has a habit of jumping from English to Japanese in the middle of a run.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. So the old "don't give me bad news" shtick. How fortunate. It's best not to ask questions like where your food comes
Yeah.
from on a ship like that.
Yeah, the less you know, the better.
Not very weird. 30 of your crew got wiped out right before launch.
I think they'll figure it out.
Wow, that was very smooth of him. Call her an alien.
Yeah, someone has to.
playing last night to find the dollar.
I can't believe how many things we've seen that have shown up in other movies and franchises.
Well,
Yeah,
nothing's
it's-
original.
Yeah, that too. But it's definitely inspiration for later 70s stuff like Star Wars, Star Trek, the motion picture.
Is this the battle on planet 10? Are we on planet Bruno now, the farthest flung part of the Sol system in this universe? Or this
No,
sci-fi
they're
continuity?
on Saturn, one of
Iskandar?
Saturn's moons.
So they've been to Iskandar.
Not yet.
Not, all right, we're still trying to get there. Gamelons have a lot of fucking assets, huh?
I found them, but it didn't have the dollar.
Huh.
Did you take it? Because I swear you left it on the
Pretty
desk.
reckless shooting.
Oh, well, that would be cheating.
Somehow, I don't think he needs treatment.
Please don't see my side. You too. Please don't see my side. No! No!
That ship really drifted a hell of a long way.
I can attest to this being completely re-rendered from the way we saw it the first time. I clearly remember seeing this episode. We never see the gun from that angle. We only see it frozen in the ice, and he bashes it out, and only he can see the letters. We see the letters when it's frozen. So yeah, they didn't draw over the original cartoon. They started over, fresh.
I
Things
think they
like
may have
shot-
edited out the gun from the American release.
This was in the 70s. There was nothing wrong with guns yet. You know what I mean? So I while you might be right, I don't think so, because that's an important MacGuffin to the story or whatever. It's an important plot device to the story. It's not a MacGuffin. We know exactly what it is. I think a different director had a different feeling about scene selection and stuff like that. This we saw.
I don't know. This wasn't released until 79 in the US, but so there's a 5-year gap. So
The 79 version
I think
looks.
it's
Go ahead.
yeah. The 79 version would have been heavily edited compared to the 74 version.
It was very repetitive because next time on was the whole next episode. Previously on was the entire last episode, and your show was the last time on. So you had to miss it for 3 straight days to miss anything.
Yeah, I'm just talking about little details like the way you remember it to the way it showed here. They wouldn't have censored it in Japan, but 79 they would have censored it in the US.
Maybe I can tell you that I remember the gun pretty clearly, and it was different angles, and a different the unveiling was a little different. I'm pretty confident in saying someone redrew this from the bottom up and re-rendered it and reanimated it off the same script, because things like shot selection is different. The characters look so much better. No one drew more effects over the original. They started again.
Yeah, they had to use more computer animation than anything to get it up to the scale.
Oh, there's a lot of things going on. It was always a good story, and it always looked really good. But Star Blazers 1.0, for lack of a better term, the 74 movie, and this is a 2012 remake or something like that. The 74 movie, that was Star Blazers that we saw in the US, and it was really slow and ponderous because they only had 2 movies or 3 movies to cut into a show. So you got 4 minutes of story per week or per day because it was daily. The thing is, it looked exactly like Battle of the Planets. This looks a million times better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've seen the other
They
one.
put a lot in to upscale it to the. I'm pretty sure this
fantastic.
is 1080. They did it for.
This is 1080. It's fantastic, and all I can say is the 70s one was really good, but the art betrays that it's different people. They didn't change things majorly, but they improved on everything a lot.
Yeah. Hey, Jerem, I got to get going. We'll see ya.
Yeah. Well, that's our last episode. Anyway.
Bye, Gorilla.
We'll see ya.
You want to shout out anything before you go, Gorilla?
Tonight we're reviewing Fallen. Tomorrow we are watching Sharknado 2. I do got a poll in the week. We're gonna watch Sharknado 2 tomorrow, but the rest are getting switched over to Crunch Stock because I'm losing half the people on my Sunday panel otherwise, or most are 66% of my Sunday panel. But otherwise, then I got pulled for our next franchise to watch. I got the choices are Jaws, RoboCop, pick 3 baseball movies, or what did I put on there? That was it Smoking the Bandit, or was it Don't think about it. I cannot remember. Oh, My Cousin Vinny. I put a single movie on there. My Cousin Vinny. But I think there's a
Oh.
sequel. We could watch with it. Then Wednesday
good.
is Justified. Then for Cringe Stock, we are watching the American Society of Magical Negroes.
Oh my God, I'm there. I'm there.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, girl. And Teague, what do you got coming up?
I'm Crazy Kooky Admiral Teague. I'll be back tomorrow night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my insane show, where I guess we'll let people vote on the topic, or I'll just do something crazy. Who knows? Never know what you're going to see on Saving Star Trek. And thanks for for letting me watch this with you. It's a really amazing cartoon. It's been a long time since I saw any iteration of it. This is clearly the best iteration I've seen. And, everybody hit the like and follow for Resolute Germ. He's the best.
All right. Thanks for being here.
No problem.
For this show, we'll be back on Tuesday for Sci-Fi Cinema with Andromeda. We'll have the Thursday night roundtable. And next week, we'll have Saturday morning cartoons again. I'll have the pull up sometime tomorrow for it. And hopefully at least one recorded thing coming out into next week or so. So take care, everybody. See you later.
Bye now.